Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing a storytime video. Now, I realize I told you guys, my makeup is partly done for the next video, which is going to be, woo, you just saw a sneak peek. But today's video is going to be another story time. Now, this just happened to me, on Friday, and today is Monday. So it happened to me, 3 days ago? And I told you guys in my East Hill Cemetery tour video that I was going to share this with you guys later that night, but I never got around to it because that night was just so long, and I had a lot of stuff I had to do and a lot of planning I had to do for upcoming videos. So I'm prepping a few videos now. So before I get into the story time, I kind of want to tell you guys a little bit about what's going on with my laptop and about what time-wise I'm looking at. So I didn't get any kind of notification from them. I'm just going to pull out a little pin here because I want to. So I never got any kind of initial response from them once they told me that they were going to send in my MacBook, which kind of frustrated me because I didn't know what they were doing with it. I didn't know what was going on, and I kind of don't like that feeling. So it kind of frustrated me. It kind of frustrated me, so I called them today to, kind of see what was up, kind of see what was going on, and they told me that the logic board in my computer was messed up and that they had to order it through the Apple store, through the actual Apple company, and apparently that is a part that is back ordered right now for 14 days. So I'm looking at anywhere from 14 days up to 28 days before it gets put in. They run that extensive test on it to make sure it's okay to get back to me. So I had to resort into my old laptop for now, the one that I gave to Charlie. I had to kind of Indian give it for a little bit, and I'm going to try to, on one of my days off, either this week or this coming up weekend, I'm going to get a video out for you guys on it. I'm going to wait until the end to get that Brushy Mountain, till I get my computer back to do that Brushy Mountain video, because to me that video, I want it to be the best possible, and I feel like my MacBook will get it the best possible with music and stuff like that. So that's kind of what's going on with that. And now finally to my story. So I went into, okay, pause. Let me just start completely over. So when I go into work, I park in the parking garage outside of the hospital. You can go straight into the hospital from there. Now, I don't lock my car because my mom was moving it one day and had the door open. She hit my dad's truck, and it caused it to where I couldn't open my door anymore. So my dad had to take the locking rod out in order for me to be able to, one, roll up and down my window, and two, so I could be able to shut my door and open my door from the outside. So I can't lock it now. So normally I don't put anything expensive or of any value in it, but I figured, it's a parking garage at my job. There's security guards everywhere. My car is going to be safe. Well, I work from 2:30 to 1 a.m. So 2:30 p.m. or if you're doing military time, 14:30 to 1 a.m. So that's a pretty long extended period of time. That's about 10 hours or 10 and a half hours. And that's a long time for my car to be unattended. Well, I had came out and I was going to go with my friends to eat at a local bakery that is close to my house. And I went to go, I never do this. I never, ever, ever do this. But I went to go put my stuff in my passenger side door. And, I went to open my passenger side door to put my stuff in the passenger seat, which I never do. I normally just get in the driver's seat and put it over. But I noticed my door was open already on the passenger side. And I was like, that is really weird. So I just open it like normal, oh, maybe somebody accidentally thought it was their car and opened it and then had, not shut it all the way. So I wasn't really freaking out. But then, whenever I opened the door, I noticed my glove box was open and that it had been went through. And things were in like organized piles. I keep all my gas receipts because I like to know how much I spend on gas in a year. So I kept all of my gas receipts together. And, well, they had kept all of my gas receipts together. And they had kept all of my smell goods together. So all of the little things that you hang in your car to make it smell good. Okay, well, they had organized all of those. And I'm like, this is so weird. Well, at first I didn't think like anybody had gotten into my car or anything. So I didn't bother taking pictures or anything. I just shoved everything back in the glove box and shut it. Well, I went around to the driver's side. Once again, didn't think about it. Nothing that I saw yet was missing. So I went to the driver's side door. It was the same way. It had been popped open, but it wasn't all the way open. So I was like, this is just really weird. So once again, I didn't notice that anything had been missing yet. And so I was just thinking, well, this is kind of crazy. Like, is this something paranormal that's happening? Like, is there a ghost that's like opening my glove box and popping open my doors? Because everything had looked like it had been kind of put back in place. Like, in my backseat, I had a tote of books. And there was a steering wheel cover and a pair of sunglasses that were laid on top. They were moved, but they were laid back on top. And so I was just thinking, like, this whole time, maybe this is just something paranormal. So I texted Charlie before I left, because I even had told my friends, I was like, oh my God, like, somebody has broken into my car. And they were like, call the security guard, on the way and let them know what happened. That way they can look into it, because I park right in front of a camera. And I'm thankful that I didn't leave my bag like I normally do, because the bag that I normally keep in there is my school bag. It's got all of my medication in it. It had all of my school material in it. It had my iPad in it for school, and it had all kinds of like, it had papers, it had my elbow brace, all of that stuff in that bag, which I had actually taken into work that day, and I had, no idea why I'd done it. Even halfway in, I was like, I don't even have to study for a test. I don't know why I'm bringing my bag in. But, I just carried it in anyway. Well, now I'm glad I did, because, moving on with the story, the next day, I had told my mom and dad, and I was like, it looked like the tote of books that I had been gone through and that some were missing, because whenever I brought it up from the bottom of the yard, it was so full that it didn't want to close all the way. Well, whenever I had got gas that night, because I had to get gas before I went with my friends, before I got gas that night, I had noticed that box looked kind of low. It had looked like some of the books were missing. And, so I was just kind of like, because the lid had fit properly back on it, so I was just kind of like really confused. Well, I called up to the hospital the next day. So on Saturday morning, I had called up to the hospital, and I was like, hey, I don't know if there's any way, if you all can look back on the cameras. I think my car was broken into last night. I have no way of locking my car. So, I think, if you guys could just take a look at the footage and see what you can find for me. So they were like, okay. As soon as they had gotten the report of my car being broken into, they were like, well, we're going to start, because if they, okay, wait. So they looked back on the cameras. They had saw 2 teenage girls walking on every single floor of the parking garage, trying to go through everybody's car. They were pulling on doors of everyone's car to see if they could get in. So mine was the only one open, of course, because I can't lock my doors. And I was silly to leave stuff in it that I cared about, honestly, like the books. I'd been meaning to bring them in the house, but I just never got around to it. So, it was just one of those things that you don't really think about. Sorry. Peppermint mocha coffee. I gotta have it right now with this story time. But it was just one of those, like, I can't believe this is happening type deal. So whenever I heard, had got the news that it was 2 females that looked like they were in their teens. They had hospital gloves on and they had a hospital mask on, so you couldn't tell their features. So smart, right? Well, one of them also had a bag, so everything that they took out of my car had been shoved in their bag and they couldn't tell what it was. So I got told, file a police report and write down everything that you think could be missing. Well, the only things that I know 100% are missing is a flashlight, books, some of those smellies that I were telling you about, because they had, I had shoved them in my glove box to where, it was barely able to fit. And whenever I had noticed, Saturday or Sunday, I had noticed that they weren't shoved in there anymore. There was only about 5 of them left. So those were missing. There's jugs. There's a jug of brake fluid, power steering fluid, and there's something else missing out of my trunk, but I can't picture what it is. So I know for 100% fact those things are missing. Well, a couple of hours later, they had broken into someone else's car and they had caught them. The lady walking out of the building had caught the 2 girls and tried to stop them and couldn't. She filed a police report that same day. Well, the next morning, so this would be Sunday morning, they got a call from one of the teenagers' dads saying, I think my daughter stole someone's car that was there. Have you all gotten any reports of it? They said no, but we'll keep an eye out. Later that day, when that nurse got off, she went to go get in her car and it wasn't there. They had stole her car. And hopefully, I don't know what'll come of this. If you guys want an update, let me know. I don't know what's going to come of this. They haven't caught the girls. They know a description. They know that they came in the hospital to get the gloves and to get the mask, and that they know that this was premeditated. And they said that, as long as they don't get caught, they're going to keep doing this. So, that's why I'm going to file the police report. At first, I was like, I have nothing of value in that car that I know was taken. I don't have anything of value. So, I don't think it's going to be worth filing the report. But my sister made a good point that if I don't file a report, it's going to be negative charges on them. So, if I do file it, it'll be more charges added on top to where they'll hopefully learn their lesson. My little headband came off. But that's not important right now. So, I'm going to file a report. I'm going to tell them what was missing. Maybe, I'm not hoping for any of that back because, it's all stuff that can be replaced. And honestly, I was talking to Charlie and my mom, and I was like, I'm glad it was my car instead of, a little old lady who doesn't realize that the world is bad and maybe had left their medicine in there and their car unlocked because they forgot to lock it, or had left their keys in their car. It could always be a lot worse. And, it could have always been like that lady who got her car stolen that worked in the hospital as well. So, if you guys want an update on that, just let me know. But yes, someone broke into my car, someone rummaged through my car and just took whatever they wanted. So whenever I brought my tote of books in the house today, when Charlie brought my tote of books in the house today, I told my mom, I'm going to have to go through these and kind of get an idea of what was taken. That way I can put it on the notebook paper. And my dad was like, well, somebody already went through them for you. And I'm like, that's so funny. So, it is a good laughing matter, but at the same time, it is very serious. Always, 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 like I said in that video before, lock your car if you can. Don't keep anything of value. I'm the world's worst at leaving my purse in my car. So don't do that. If somebody sees a purse in someone's car, some people will go to a million extents to get into your car. So that is my little lesson learned. I now know that, you can't trust anybody, and that really sucks because now I'm going to be worried every single time that I leave my car in the parking garage. What is somebody going to look through? Even if I have nothing in there, that's just not right. Is somebody going to use my mascara that's in there? Please don't. But I hope you guys liked this video. It was a little chit-chatty video, but I wanted to pre-record this. That way you guys have it to see on the 23rd or the 24th. So either Tuesday or Wednesday you guys will be seeing this, but I'm going to go ahead and upload it and make it private and then make it public whenever I want you guys to see it. So I really, really, really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know down in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe to my channel. Also, hit the post notifications. That way you get notified every time I upload a new video. And like always, stay cool and be you. Bye!